We're getting ready to rock and roll. It's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time on the eastern coast of the United States of America. Welcome to the Monday Mindset Movement. Yes, y'all. Here we go. All right, let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, yo, what's happening? Welcome to the Monday Mindset Movement Show. I'm your man, Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me, and we would just love to welcome you to the Monday Mindset Movement Show. 15 to 20 minutes of elevation, inspiration, and motivation designed to get you rocking and rolling through your week. Oh, yes. I'm so glad that y'all are here this morning. So let me ask you, hold on. First of all, let me just say what's up to Gabe's, Moella. How you doing this morning? Roseland's, good to see you this morning. Who else is online? Doris J, good to see you this morning. Razor Money, good to see you this morning. John, good to see you this morning. Wyman, how you doing? Good to see you this morning. In Clubhouse, good to see y'all this morning. Good to see all of you. I'm so glad that you're here. Here's my question this morning. Have you ever tried to quit something, right? Have you ever tried to quit something cold turkey? How did that work out? Have you ever known that you needed to change something in your life, but you were so overwhelmed by the change that you ended up not doing it? Wow. Well, listen, we're going to chat about that this morning. Let's go. Here we go. Monday Mindset. Let's rock. Yep. Thank you so much for joining us for the Monday Mindset Movement Show. Do me a favor. If you want to know when we're going live on the Monday Mindset Movement Show, go ahead and text GO LIVE to 240-55-STORY. Text GO LIVE to 240-557-8679. I love it. Let's do this thing. So glad that y'all are here this morning. We are live on Clubhouse. We're live on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Where else are we? We're on Instagram this morning. So glad that y'all are here. Great morning. Yes. All right. Fantastic. So, hey, let's talk about it. I talked about quitting something cold turkey and asking you how that worked out. So let me share with you a quick story this morning about cold turkey. Yeah. So my son, he just turned 15 the other day. And when he was a kid, when he was young, when he was about 2 years old, he used to let me jump up to 3. He used to suck his thumb. And we would say to him, you got to stop sucking this thumb. I mean, grown people don't suck their thumbs. Well, not most of them. Right? And so he would say, yeah, I'm going to stop sucking my thumb. So my wife would get this stuff, that bitter stuff, and she would put it on his thumb and try to get him to stop sucking it. And he would just wipe it off and put his thumb in his mouth. And he would do this. We tried everything. We tried motivating him differently. We were like, okay, if you want dessert, if you want something sweet to eat, stop sucking your thumb. And he would just ignore all of that stuff and he would suck his thumb. So one day, he was about 3 years and 10 months at this point. And I said to him, son, how long are you going to start sucking your thumb? Because, how long are you going to suck your thumb? Because one day you're going to get to the space where people will identify you with thumb sucking, or, you may lose out on opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. Essentially I was trying to tell him, you got to be a grown up at some point, right? He's 3 years old. I'm telling him he's got to be a grown up at some point. And so he says to me, Dad, you know what? I make some decisions in my life. And I'm not paraphrasing this. This is him talking to me. He says, that I make decisions in my life, and I'm gonna stop sucking my thumb when I turn 4. And I said, okay. So I go ahead and I tell my wife this, and she says, you know what? Yeah, but we got to help him along. Maybe we should put some more of the bitter stuff on his thumb to help him stop sucking his thumb. And I said, you know what? No, he said he was going to do it when he was 4, so let's allow him that opportunity. So we're there watching. We're there watching. His birthday's on the 19th of February. And so February 16th comes and we're watching. February 17th comes, we're watching. February 18th comes, we're watching. He's sucking his thumb. He's not even like de diminishing the amount. He's not minimizing. He's not trying to wean himself off. He's sucking his thumb full, like he's trying to get all of it in. And so then the morning of the 19th comes and he doesn't say anything to us, but we notice that he's not sucking his thumb. And then we're like, okay, yeah, it's his birthday. He committed to it today, and he's just not going to do it. Then the 20th comes, and he's not sucking his thumb. Then the 21st comes, and he's not sucking his thumb. And then the 27th comes, 28th comes, and he's not sucking his thumb. And then a month passes, and he's not sucking his thumb. And we're like, whoa, he actually did this thing. Wow, he just quit cold turkey. And we were like, my gosh, that is an amazing feat. So I applaud my son. He did something that I don't know if I could have done. He did something amazing. He quit something cold turkey. The problem with this is that a lot of us view change in that way, right? A lot of us see change as an all or nothing proposition. That's why it's hard for us. We see change as this thing. Either you do it or you don't. If I start it and I fail at it, then I failed and I'm not changed. And so we see change as this all or nothing proposition. And so most of us decide that we're not going to take it on because we don't think we can. It seems overwhelming to us. It seems too big to us. It seems like it's too much. You know, and because we think about it that way, a lot of times we go the other direction, or we go in the direction of extremes because of that. So for example, I have decided in the past that I'm going to change my diet, right? I decide that I'm not going to eat processed sugar. And I've had these moments where I am not eating the processed sugar, but something happens on a day. So for example, I decide I'm going to eat granola, and I go to the store and I get granola box, and then I come back home and I see that the granola there's some sugar in it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't intend to eat sugar, but I ate sugar. And so here's what happens. I decide, yeah, I messed up already. So I'm just going to go, full hog on this. And I'm just going to eat every piece of chocolate that I see in front of me. I messed up today. I lost today. I might as well enjoy it. How many of us have said that to ourselves? Right? We're trying to make change, but we mess up a little bit, or we fall off the wagon a little bit. Because we fall off the wagon a little bit, we're like, okay, I'm going to fall all the way off because I messed up right now. I'm just going to do all the bad things. Right? So that's how we view change. But the thing is, change is not all or nothing. Change is some or something. I will say that one more time. Change isn't all or nothing. It's some or something. In fact, too much change is this fallacy, is this thing that we tell ourselves to keep ourselves from doing anything at all. Right? When we want to trick ourselves, we're really good at that. We're really good at tricking our minds, and we tell ourselves that it's too big, it's too much, it's too quick, it's too fast, can't be done right now, to soothe ourselves or trick ourselves into not doing the work, into not doing what we need to do to change. I was speaking with a mastermind friend of mine a few years back, and he asked this question. He said, what would it be like if we took on the challenge of doing 1,000 push-ups a day? And I was like, 1,000, that's a lot. There's a lot to do 1,000 push-ups per day. Sir Sharp, Ryan, good to see you. Artisan, good to see you this morning. Keshi, good to see you this morning. All right. So he said to me, let's take on, what if we took on 1,000 push-ups a day? And I said, man, that's a lot of push-ups. And he said, well, yeah, it's a big number, but what if we thought about it a little bit differently? He said, what if we broke down our day? Let's not even talk about 24 hours. Let's talk about the time that we're awake. What if we broke down our day to 10 hours? Let's say that you're up and active from 8 a.m. and you shut down your day at 6 p.m. Okay, so if we broke it down, and that's 10 hours. So if I'm trying to do 1,000 push-ups a day, it means that 1,000 divided by 10 is 100 push-ups per hour. Okay, let's break it down further. 100 push-ups per hour, if I divided that by 4, that is 25 push-ups every 15 minutes. Let's break it down even further. Let's say that I wanted to do every 10 minutes. That's about 18 push-ups every 10 minutes. Can I do 18 push-ups every 10 minutes? I can go further down to 1 minute, but can I do, let's leave it at 15 minutes for now. Can I do 25 push-ups every 15 minutes? Yeah, I can. Even if it's just for one day, can I do 25 push-ups every 15 minutes for 10 hours? Yeah, I can. Right? So we break it down from that overwhelming 1,000 to 25 every 15 minutes. Does that seem doable now? Yeah. Yeah, it seems a little bit more possible now. And that's how it is. And that's what we've got to think about when we're looking at change. You see, it's not the big actions that create change. It's the little ones. It's not the overwhelming, or it's not the groundbreaking things that create change. It's the little things. And there's so many examples of this in our life, right? If I think about temperature, right? If I look at the thermostat in my house, why is it that it feels cold or cool at like 67 or 68 degrees, but 71, 3 degrees difference, feels warmer, right? I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to always say, yeah, make sure the thermostat's at 67 degrees. I'm like, why 67? Why not like 67, 68 or 66? He's like, no, 67. Right? He had a specific number. Right? And so 1 degree can make a difference. Don't believe me? Let's talk about ice. All right? Let's not even talk about ice. Let's look at water boiling. Right? Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. At 210, it's not going to boil. It's not going to bubble up. At 211, it's not going to boil. It doesn't bubble. 212 degrees, yes, we're boiling now. All right, we can do the flip side. Another example, water, it gets super cold. It's 33 degrees. It's still water. It's cold water. It's just very cold water at that point, right? But at 32 degrees, it's freezing. It's frozen, right? We've got so many different examples. A pilot friend of mine talked about the flying and how the pilot is always just course correcting. And he said if the pilot course corrects by 1 degree different than where they should be or where they should be going, that can make a difference of being hundreds of miles away from the destination that they intended to land at. 1 degree. So if these small degrees can make a difference in nature, if these small degrees can make a difference in destination, if these small degrees can make a difference in even our push-ups or our exercises, right? Why do we get overwhelmed by change? Well, I'll look back at BJ Fogg. So BJ Fogg decided in his book Tiny Habits, he tells us about three ways or three things to do to design successful habits. Number one, the first thing that he said to do is to stop judging yourself. Stop judging yourself, right? A lot of times we fail at something, or we say we're going to do something, and what it really is not a failure, it's a breakdown, but we call it a failure. And what we do is we call it a failure, we say I failed, and we attach it to our identity. And when we attach failure to our identity, it causes us to retreat from that process and feel like something within us isn't worthy of the journey. Right? So we haven't failed, a breakdown occurred. As a matter of fact, as we talk about removing or stop judging ourselves, I want to encourage us to change our language a bit. When instead of saying I failed, it's simply this didn't work or a breakdown occurred. Right? When we attach failure to our identity, we tend to retreat from the process and feel like we're not worthy of the journey. So he says, number one thing to design successful habits is stop judging yourself. Number two, take your aspirations, take the directions, the places that you want to go, and break them down into tiny behaviors. Anything that you can think about that you want to do. What's the tiniest behavior that can happen as a result of that? Or what's the tiniest thing that you can do? Okay? If I want to stop eating sugar, if I'm going to say I want to stop eating sugar, do I say, oh my gosh, I'm going to stop eating sugar, cold turkey? Or do I say, you know what? I'm going to stop eating sugar for the next 30 minutes. I'm not going to eat sugar for the next 30 minutes. That's a small behavior, right? And so if I think about exercise, if I say I'm going to exercise every day, or I'm going to do push-ups every day, there's some days that I'm going to be able to do 50. And there's some days that I'm just not going to feel like it. Do I say, you know what? I don't feel like it today. I'm just going to chill. Or do I break it down into the smallest habit possible and say, you know what? Wow, I'm tired. I don't feel like it, but I'm going to roll out of bed and I'm going to do 5. I'm going to break it down to the smallest tiny habit. I'm going to do 5. Right? We want to keep the chain moving, right? We want to create habits. We want to make a difference. And habits really help us form our future. Habits really help us to form a different us or a better us by helping us to not have to think as much about the things that we're doing. Right? We do it with our bad habits, so why not be intentional and do it with your good ones? So number one, stop judging yourselves. Number two, break things down into tiny habits. And then number three, embrace mistakes as discoveries. Embrace mistakes as discoveries. So what does that mean? It means when you have a breakdown, look at what was going on around you when the breakdown occurred. Right? And how did it contribute to the breakdown? Was I by myself? What was I thinking about? What was I doing? This is an opportunity for you to now say, okay, based on what I was doing, who I was with, what I was thinking about, what time of day it was, this is an opportunity for me to do something differently. Most of us will find out that when breakdowns occur in our space, it happens because of a prompt. There's something that prompts our behavior. Psychologists will tell us this all the time. There's almost no behavior that happens without a prompt of some sort. So what was the thing? What was the trigger? What was the thing that prompted the behavior? What was the thing that prompted the breakdown? If I decide that I'm going back to exercise as an example here, or diet as an example. If I decide I'm going to change my diet, but then I eat something contrary to my diet, what was it that prompted that shift? Was it a smell? Was it a scent? Was it who I was with? Was it the time of day? Was it the fact that my belly was fully empty and I was hungry and I felt the growl and I decided just to grab something? Was it just convenience? What was it that prompted that behavior? Right? So, number 3, embracing mistakes as discoveries. Those are opportunities for us to see what prompts our behavior. So those 3 things, again, 3 things to design successful habits in your life. Number 1, stop judging yourself. Number 2, take your aspirations and break them down into tiny behaviors. Number 3, embrace mistakes as discoveries, right? One of the things that BJ Fogg says in this book, again, is he says, don't pressure yourself to do more than the tiniest version of your habit. And by that, he doesn't mean that you shouldn't seek to become a better version of yourself. But sometimes we pressure ourselves to do these big things and do these amazing things and do these overwhelming things. And when we get overwhelmed by those things, we shrink back and we end up not doing those things. So what he says is hold yourself accountable to something that's manageable. Hold yourself accountable to the tiniest version of the habit that you want to form or that you're aspiring to. And always do that. And then as you seek to grow, you can handle more, you can do more. But on those days when you're not at your best, scale back to the tiny. I hope that was helpful to somebody. I hope that as you look for this week to be transformational, I hope that as you look for the next day to be the best day, I hope that as you are pursuing excellence this week, that you've released yourself from the pressure to be groundbreaking. I hope that you released yourself from the pressure to do something super large. And it is possible for you to do something super large. However, I want to encourage us to take the 1% pledge. I pledge to be 1% better today. I don't need to be 90% better. I don't need to be 100% better. I just need to be 1% better than the person that I was 1 minute ago. I need to be 1% better than the person I was yesterday. Break things down into the tiny habits that you want to form in order to be the best version of you. Today's Monday, y'all. Today is Monday. Oh, yeah. And we want to shift your mindset to a place of growth. But it doesn't just start and stop on Monday. We want to encourage you to take your Monday mindset into tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Make a choice. Start a movement. Be a movement. Join me next week, Monday at 8 a.m. on Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn for the next Monday Mindset Movement. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'll see ya next time. Peace.